What's going on, guys? Herman Stevens here. This is the, I guess, third week of training based on this latest series and my latest stint of going back to a commercial gym. I think last time we talked, I explained that I was sort of doing some form of pressing 7 days a week. And most of those days I'd be doing bench press. And this is just a fun activity to get me back in the gym, do something a little different, chase some old goals, that sort of thing. Last time we left off with, I guess, 3 sessions in particular where I did dead stop bench presses, which is a bench press off the bars, and you're mostly focusing on the concentric or the lifting motion. It's not really focused on the lowering phase of the lift. And in week 2, I bench pressed 305 pounds off my chest, dead stop. I did 335, 5 inches above my chest, dead stop. And I did 395, 10 inches off my chest, dead stop. And so in this third week, I did those 3 lifts. There are also a couple intermediate days where I had to use a different weightlifting bench. So my measurements were a little off. It's like there was a day where I did 3 inches off my chest and a day where it was 1 inch off my chest, odd stuff like that. But to compare apples to apples, this week, directly off my chest, I did 320 pounds compared to 305 pounds. So that was a pretty good increase there, 15 pounds. At 5 inches above my chest, I did a workout where I did 345 for 1 and 355 for 1 compared to a 335 previous. So 20 pounds more. And I did 2 lifts that were pretty close, being the 345 and 355. So I think I had a little bit more in the tank there, maybe 360, maybe 365. But 20 pounds gained there. It's not bad. 10 inches above the chest is kind of where things got a little hairy. Again, previous week I did 395. And in this workout, the one for this week, I think my programming was a little off, and that's something I'll have to get used to, is planning my lifts. Do you do 315, 335, 355? Do you go from 315 to 365? And then managing sort of the energy you have to get your, I guess, max training lift for the day. And so this week at 10 inches, just kind of the way the weights fell, I did 315, I did 365. I didn't want to make a huge jump. I did 395, taking the risk that I had another set in me. And so I did 395, which was the same as the previous week. And on the last set, I tried 420. And when I lifted it, I got it off the bar, and I kind of floated it back and forth along the bars. And I mean, I kind of blew my load, and I didn't get a lift on it. So I failed 420. I dropped the weight down to 405 and kind of a similar lift. Kind of floated it, but I didn't get a full lift, probably because I was gassed on the 420. So no major changes there, but I think when I run the exercise back this next week, 405 will come easy, but I should be able to get 415, 420, but I need to get better at planning my sets. And also I probably need more conditioning. I haven't done bench press seriously, again, since 2013. I have done dips in the meantime, weighted dips and stuff like that. But even then, I haven't done those consistently in a few years maybe. So endurance is becoming a factor in some of these workouts, especially since I'm mostly doing singles, and I'm probably doing less than 10 sets overall, including warm-up. So I'm very low on conditioning for this lift. But overall, pretty good week. The days that I didn't do bench press from dead stop, I ended up doing JM presses. And I think those have been good for me from a rehab standpoint. I think if it wasn't for the JM presses, I think I would have run into some type of tricep tendonitis at this point. But overall, bench press is going up. Again, off my chest, I went from 305 to 320. At 5 inches, I went from 335 to 355, and then from 10 inches, weight stayed the same at 395, but I'm getting better. Also, I'm starting to work in some other arm wrestling stuff. I might be going to an event next month. I'm not sure. Kind of depends on what the team does and how my elbows and other injuries are feeling. So I've started bringing in some wrist wrench type stuff. Nothing too crazy. Elbows are feeling okay, but I probably won't be doing any heavy side pressure training anytime soon. Practices are going well. However, this past week, I did notice just some underlying soreness at practice, and I really think that had a lot to do with a lot of the pressing that I'm doing. So while I do feel great in the gym, I'm not having too many concerns with all the heavy pressing I'm doing. I think I did feel the effects at practice. Historically, I've been able to max out on bench every day, kind of training maxes 90-95% consistently, and still go to practice. But that was in Bakersfield, California. That was 5 years ago, 7 years ago, and I was always the strongest guy on the team. I could arm wrestle for 3 hours. I could max out on shoulder press before work. I could max out on bench press at lunch. I could go practice for 3 hours after work and probably still never get pinned unless I allowed myself to get pinned. And then the next day I could go right back to maxing out on everything again. Times are different. I'm older. I have more injuries. And the truth is that the team that I'm currently with, between Brad Grundy, and I don't know if you guys know Brad, and Jonathan Breida, they're so strong that this is not a group that I can, do whatever I want with. I can't pull those guys for 3 hours and not get pinned. With Jonathan, first pull of the practice, I'm getting pinned left-handed, and Brad's probably not much different right-handed. So I'm actually probably the weaker of the three overall. So that's kind of the lesson learned, and something I'm going to have to watch going forward is managing my practices along with my training program and determining what I want to stick with long-term or even medium-term, right? Maybe I just deprioritize practice because I want to see what I can do bench press wise. So yeah, that's kind of it. But training's going well. I'm slowly starting to ramp up. Again, I intend to start getting into some type of a event soon. Nothing major, probably no super matches. I'm waiting to hear back when Zloty's going to happen. I don't know if it's later in the year or if there's going to be a makeup event. But yeah, that's where I am training wise. Later, guys.